Usos ambush Rollins. Rollins attacked off-air. Usos strike after Raw. Rollins under attack. Off-air chaos on Raw. Have you ever wondered what really happens after the cameras stop rolling and Raw officially goes off the air? And what if the most shocking fight of the night wasn't broadcast to the millions watching at home, but happened right in front of the live crowd after the show was supposedly over? Because that's exactly what happened when Seth Rollins found himself on the receiving end of a vicious off-air assault from Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso, turning an already chaotic night into something fans inside the arena will not forget anytime soon. Now, before we dive into this story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments whose side you're on in this situation. Was this attack justified, or did the Usos go way too far? I want to hear what you think because this entire situation has divided the WWE universe. Let's talk about what happened. Raw had already been filled with tension. The atmosphere throughout the night felt unpredictable. Rivalries were heating up, emotions were running high, and Seth Rollins once again found himself at the center of the action. At this point, that almost feels normal. If there is one superstar who somehow attracts chaos like a magnet, it's Seth Rollins. Seriously, the guy could walk into an empty room and somehow leave with 3 new enemies. As the show approached its conclusion, fans expected the usual ending. The cameras stopped rolling, the television audience got their final shot of the evening, and many people in attendance probably assumed the night was over. Some fans were gathering their belongings. Others were checking their phones. A few had already started making their way toward the exits. Then everything changed. What happened next caught many people completely off guard. Instead of a calm ending to the evening, the arena suddenly became the setting for an explosive confrontation. Seth Rollins remained in the ring area, and before anyone fully understood what was happening, Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso appeared. Immediately, something felt different. There were no smiles. There were no jokes. There was no celebration. The expressions on their faces told the entire story. They were there for one reason and one reason only. Seth Rollins. Fans quickly realized this wasn't going to be a friendly conversation. This wasn't going to be one of those tense standoffs where everyone exchanges insults and walks away. The body language alone made it clear that things were about to get physical. And they did. Without warning, the Usos launched their attack. The crowd erupted instantly. People who had already started leaving turned around. Fans rushed back toward their seats. Phones came flying out as everyone tried to capture what was unfolding. The energy inside the building transformed within seconds. One moment the show was over. The next moment all hell had broken loose. Rollins was caught off guard by the sudden assault. Before he could fully react, the Usos were all over him. It was aggressive, it was relentless, and it was clear that they had come prepared for a fight. Now, anyone who has followed WWE for years knows exactly how dangerous Jimmy and Jey can be when they operate as a unit. Individually, they're elite competitors. Together, they're an entirely different problem. That's what made this attack so devastating. Every time Rollins tried to create an opening, another USO was there waiting. Every time it looked like he might gain momentum, the numbers advantage quickly shut him down. It wasn't a fair fight, and everyone watching knew it. Still, Seth Rollins did what Seth Rollins always does. He fought back. That's one thing you can never take away from him. Love him or hate him, Rollins doesn't quit easily. The man has built his career on surviving impossible situations. He's been betrayed by friends, targeted by factions, and attacked by some of the most dangerous superstars in WWE history. Yet somehow he always finds a way to keep fighting. This situation was no different. Even while dealing with a 2-on-1 assault, Rollins continued battling back. He refused to stay down. He refused to surrender. Every time the Usos knocked him down, he seemed determined to get right back up. The crowd responded to that resilience. Some fans cheered for Rollins. Others cheered for the Usos. But almost everyone could agree on one thing. This was intense. The attack wasn't just about physical punishment. It felt personal. It felt emotional. It felt like there was a deeper message behind every strike and every moment of aggression. And that's where things become really interesting. Because history has a way of following these competitors wherever they go. Seth Rollins isn't just another superstar. He's a man whose career has been shaped by alliances, betrayals, rivalries, and power struggles. The Usos have experienced many of those same battles. Their paths have crossed with some of the biggest names and most important storylines WWE has produced over the years. When people with that much history collide, it's rarely simple. There's always another layer. There's always another reason. There's always another story hidden beneath the surface. As the attack continued, the crowd became increasingly invested. The atmosphere inside the arena felt electric. Every move generated a reaction. Every strike drew louder cheers and louder gasps. Nobody wanted to leave. Nobody wanted to miss a second. The feeling inside the building was that something significant was happening. This wasn't just an ordinary post-show scuffle. This felt like a major statement. And the Usos were making that statement loud and clear. They wanted everyone watching to understand exactly where they stood. They wanted Seth Rollins to understand it too. What made the attack particularly effective was the chemistry between Jimmy and Jey. That's something fans sometimes take for granted. These aren't just brothers. They're one of the most accomplished tag teams in wrestling history. They know each other better than almost anyone else. They think alike. They react alike. They move together almost instinctively. Watching them work as a team can sometimes feel unfair to whoever happens to be standing across from them. Imagine trying to play a game where your opponents somehow know each other's next move before it even happens. That's basically what facing the Usos feels like. And for Seth Rollins, that reality became painfully obvious. The assault continued with incredible intensity. Every attempt at a comeback was met with another attack. Every moment of resistance seemed to fuel the Usos even more. Yet Rollins continued refusing to stay down. That's what makes Seth Rollins such a fascinating character. Common sense often tells people to avoid danger. Rollins practically runs toward it. At times it feels like the man sees trouble and immediately decides he wants front row seats. But courage only gets you so far when the odds are stacked against you. Eventually, the numbers game began taking its toll. The Usos maintained control. The crowd remained full.